My ears.
Is this the beginning?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Hello, and welcome to the part 1 of The Hider in the House. Fuck, what are we doing again? Commentary! That was it. Commentary. With me, your host, and Danny, who was... What was it? You were Silly Gizmo back then, weren't you?
Yeah.
Who was an actor and a voice actor as one of the robbers, and Josh, who... I can't
I was the
remember
other
what you do.
robber. I played the other robber.
Ah, yeah. Vital role.
Yep.
Oh,
Very
and
important.
apparently this is by you as well.
Oh, look. Oh god, how time flies. I must have written a whole story and it's just gone.
Completely.
Oh, it's
forgot.
playing in awful quality.
That actually is. That's so bad.
We must be able to fix that. 10.8. Oh, it might.
There we-
Hang on. There you go.
I think I've just fixed it for myself.
I think we have to fix it for ourselves, I guess.
Damn.
This was.
Surprisingly, I didn't build this.
You built. You paved this path. That was all you did.
No, I meant the house though. I didn't...
Yeah. Your only Oh, the gate was you actually. The gate we just saw.
Wow.
The gate and the path was Henry. But I actually, for once, built a whole set on my own. And I wonder, I can't remember. I wonder if that was just me doing that, or if you never showed up. Because I feel like either one is,
I feel like
It's
Henry
quite
never showed
plausible.
up.
It's quite plausible.
I feel like there's been a few instances where, like, oh yeah, Henry just hasn't shown up. Oh dear.
All flipping night in there.
Oh, I forgot Alfie was in this.
Shut up,
God,
nobody's gonna see her.
Danny!
There he is, Danny.
What
I
about
knew you
this
were
time?
in this.
Woo!
They could show up at any time.
They won't be arriving now this time, and they'll probably get it tomorrow at some point.
Oh, what was I about to say? I had something to say, and I've immediately forgotten it. Oh yeah, this episode has a lot of pauses in it, so it's you'll see them when they happen. There's a lot of very weird moments in this episode where nothing is happening, so it gives us a wonderful time to catch up.
Talk about something else.
Because we've not spoken to Danny in we don't actually know how long. We've been trying to figure out. It's been like at least a year, but I'm pretty sure it's been more than that. It's possibly been about 2 years. And we've not had any time to catch. We've got people waiting, that's what I was going to mention. We've got Joe on part 2. Joe played
You couldn't
Joel.
just leave it as suspense, could you? You had
No.
to ruin it.
I've got to point this out because people might zone out very quickly if they have hope that things are going to improve and that there's going to be other people. Then
It's not just gonna be me and Dan.
yeah, they might come back for the other ones. We've got Stephen for part 3 who played Brian, and then we're all gonna try and do part 4. Maybe not Danny.
Maybe not me.
Maybe
We'll
not
see
Danny.
though.
Danny's doing the smart thing. He's getting the fuck out of here before we do part 4. But we're gonna try and
We'll
get
get
everyone
very
to part
chaotic.
4.
Who designed this skin? The eyes are in like the mouth.
Oh my god, that was loud. I think
That was that.
I've got my sound up a bit loud. That was me, and I remember you saying that at the time, Henry. That was the worst
Yeah.
skin you'd ever
There's nothing
seen.
out
You are kind of right. It is quite poor. But yeah,
It'd be such an easy fix. It's not even like
I know.
I can't remember it. Did I help you with film some of the shit with the robbers? I can't.
I think that was actually you that just got mowed down with the axe.
It might have been. I remember there's a bit where someone gets thrown through a window, and that was me.
Yeah, and the car. I've got some great bloopers of you trying to start the car.
Oh, Flansmod effort.
And it's just
always being a
glitching
massive-
all over the
Yeah.
place.
I don't know why that
Flans
old
mod
guy
is
gave this place
AIDS.
away. He had everything here.
Yeah, I
This
moved on
teenager's
from
gonna trash
plan.
his place tomorrow.
But it's very clear with this story that I just watched. This was the horror movie phase of growing up, where you start watching loads of horror films, and it's very clear I just watched a load of Friday the 13th films. And,
Yeah.
that was very much in my head. And I remember Danny as well. We were both talking about our horror stories that we were going to make because
Yes.
for you it was Bloodshock, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And
that was. Oh god.
We were talking about, I'm doing this, you're doing that, and Bloodshock has finally happened now over on Danny's channel. It's come out.
Completely different to what the original idea was, but it did happen.
Yeah, it got there eventually. I love that
Alright,
sound. It
mate.
just sounds like someone's
They can
just
come
stacked
up
it
with-
around the corner.
It does sound like someone's tripped down the stairs. It doesn't sound too bad.
Whee!
I thought that was Danny in the episode. I'm not joking. I thought he was taking the piss out of him falling down the stairs. He was going. Wee!
Oh
A
no!
total like tone change right there. Whee!
I've not watched it in a while. I really haven't.
Me
I do need
neither.
to turn my volume down. There we go.
I can't believe I'm fucking dead.
Danny, you had the biggest contribution.
Yeah, all of 2 minutes.
I know.
Actually, no, more or less
Oh yeah,
3
Danny,
minutes. Actually. Okay.
you've got to leave now. That's it.
Oh,
You're out the
Oh.
you're out the
It's
story.
bye, guys.
Yeah. You're out the story. You're out the commentary. Come on.
I mean, I'm not in it yet, so why am I here?
Yeah. No, it's just me.
Why are you leading this then? What?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Wait. Oh no, I did play one of the thieves.
How did you do that? The drops of blood. Is that? Did you edit?
I just
How did you do that?
I had like a you know like a template resource pack, which is just all the normal
Right.
textures, and then yeah, you just shift it up a little bit. I mean, I think that's how I did the Cackler belts in Hunted. Oh no, that was just me. That was something from another
That's on a
mod.
skin.
No, it's like the things that they hold in their hand. When they're holding the belt in their hand, I think
No,
I
yeah,
just changed the
that's just an
texture.
item. Yeah.
Yeah. Henry, we're talking about the
No.
wrong story. We've done Hunted.
It's a bit
Motherfucker,
late.
you're
just
the one
now.
who brought it up. I was asking how you achieved the droplet of blood on the floor.
But look, this is what I'm on about. I was going for a slow pace for
Yeah.
this, particularly for this part one. I was going for a slow pace, and I think it needs it. However, we're still watching this. We're still in this cellar watching like nothing happened. There's a lot of this in part one where there is just
Yeah.
nothing happening.
We are watching a man who's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things like you got to pace things just right. If it's not paced just right, it's so noticeable. Especially when you watch back, you're like, no.
Yeah.
No!
Literally.
Too bad you didn't pick up on that.
And I remember
during
Danny,
production.
quite rightfully at the time, I'm pretty sure there's still a comment underneath the video. You're like, it's a good episode, Josh, but it's a bit fucking slow.
Yeah, I really liked it. It was like, yeah, it was a little bit slow in places and that, but it was like,
Yeah.
This is all your fault, sir.
Well, I was about to say things like this. This like entire story was your best one, and it's like, well, yeah, it's the most recent one. Also,
You were driving.
You've got
You
3.
have to watch the road,
Yeah.
not stare out into the woods.
Well, it's not my
4 is on its way. I
Oh,
started
it's-
filming 4 yesterday.
Yeah, I saw the tweet. yeah.
Yesterday? No, 2 days
yeah.
ago.
You should have just braked, not swerved completely out of the road.
But all of these characters are partially based on my actual friends. Like Zach, Fred, and Alfie are 3 of my actual
Should still work.
friends. Alfie, who is playing Alfie, that is Alfie voicing Alfie.
This is all you,
And
sir.
I had to let everyone know
Thanks a lot.
these characters are not you. They're clearly not you. They're just
It's like
Well,
you-
obviously not, because most of them die.
yeah.
you're incapable of actually
But
doing
you know, it's just weird when you like sometimes create characters and you do just sort of you use people you know in real life as like a
Well, it
starting
probably makes them
point.
far easier to write. If
It does. But as like a launch pad, I like to think these aren't literally the people I know, just
Yeah.
adapted into a story. But it's just sort of
In,
inspired.
in one regard, we could say like you were making it easier on yourself. The other side, I could say you're incredibly lazy.
Yeah, that is.
I will
that is valid.
say, I remember hearing this, but I remember Eric Saywood say, and this is a bit off topic from the episode, but it still links into what we're saying. He wrote a character who was named after his daughter, and this the character in the story was also a daughter of a character who has to kill her father, and it's like, wow, okay, Saywood, okay, bro.
See what he's getting at. I thought you were going to say
Which was
Eric
a
Saywood's seen the story. I was like, what the fuck?
Imagine. Actually, I don't think that's what you want.
Oh my god, it's disposable Matt character number 3.
It is. It's Matt in his 3rd red shirt role. You don't know he's a red shirt yet, and it's a bit more. There's a bit more to it than the other ones, at least. But this is another Friday the 13th trope, or maybe just slasher trope in general. Is this kind
Yeah.
of guy who lives in the area and he kind of knows
Who knows
what's
all
up,
about it?
and he tries warning them and they say no.
Can I help?
Yeah. Not here to buy anything, but have you
I'm
got
really
a-
surprised that
come and do a
Alfie actually
commentary
did
with
this. You know what? Because we had a lot of trouble starting this commentary today. As always, we've never not had trouble starting a commentary.
We've got a new one coming up
Most of it was you.
Yeah.
But when Danny nearly couldn't join us tonight, and I was thinking,
Yeah.
should I ask Matt to? Should I ask Matt to swoop in? I wonder if he would have done it.
Both of you have about the same amount of time.
Yeah.
Stand there for a
The same amount of lions.
No,
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 Matt's got a bit more.
I could be
Matt's got a bit
replaced.
more. And Matt is in part 2 as well.
What is it?
Danny was so shit he couldn't make it to part 2. Honestly.
Yeah.
Danny's
Yeah, I
Robert
know,
was so
it's a skill
efficient
issue,
at his
isn't it?
job. No, it was just efficiency. He got the job done, so didn't need to come back.
Ever since
Yeah.
those lights in the sky that
Yeah.
one night, nothing's been the same around here.
What can I say? I'm very
It
efficient
happened
at what I
about
do.
a month ago. Some
And he-
fires in the woods.
And he's not voiced since.
No! Where are the lines, Josh? Where are the lines?
Where are the episodes?
Yeah, actually, to be fair, why didn't Danny voice a bigger character in this?
Supposedly still in there.
Do you know, I don't entirely
Did you
know.
say no, Danny? Because, I mean, that's based if you did, but...
Yeah,
Oh no, I think it was because I was in a very different community at the time. I was in a very different place. That's why I
okay.
wasn't in it that much.
Danny
Fair
was
enough.
Danny was on another planet. If you get what
Yeah.
we're saying.
He was high.
I'm always high.
It's the only way he's getting through this.
It's the only way I could cope.
And I got kicked for cringe.
Yeah.
You're right.
I've just noticed that the car you chose, Josh, has the Confederate flag on the roof.
Well, Henry, you see, in 2018 when I started filming this, I would not have known what that was. But I think when I was doing part 4, and you see the car again, I do think I remember looking at that and going, oh.
Josh is putting messages in his Minecraft Doctor Who video. Disgraceful.
See, I never noticed that,
Dead.
and now I noticed it. I'm like, oh no.
I'd definitely forgotten about that. I had forgotten
So I'll be
that
able
that
to
was
sort
there.
that at the end of the week.
Good. Now let's get.
Josh
guess-
likes arming people with weaponry.
I guess
He
it adds an
supports guns.
yeah, I guess it adds an interesting side to the driver. I can't remember who the driver is.
I believe it's Zach's car, isn't it?
Yeah. It is.
Damn.
Well, he's probably got it
dear.
second hand from somewhere.
I've got a bad leg.
America, by the sounds
Yeah.
of it.
Imported overseas for a cheap price somewhere.
As I said before.
The car market is spiked so hard in the UK. Yeah, it's cheaper to import.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
would not. Hitchhiking isn't safe.
This is alternate history because it's set in the 1970s.
You guys go ahead.
I'm just retconning a few things.
7 o'clock. Finally-
It's not that long.
But it is a bit weird. This is obviously like Friday the 13th is an American, series,
Yeah.
and this whole thing of teenagers going to a place in the woods is very American. I think. I don't
Yeah.
think it is particularly. I mean, we have holiday homes, but we don't really go sort of.
Yeah,
Camping.
most holiday homes aren't in the buttfuck nowhere.
Yeah. But the whole point is, of course, and I was sort of aware of this when I was writing it.
Do you actually even
The house is like this rare sort of anomaly in the holiday market, because the owner has had this sort of really nice place in the woods, and he's given it away. Of
I
course,
don't blame him. Like,
when we find out who
freak
the
out.
owner actually is, it does sort of
makes sense, I guess.
a bit more sense. Especially, we haven't even found out how this
They did.
They won't be
sort
able
of.
to
I don't think I even knew entirely when I started this how this connected to the events of the next story. I know now, of course, but I think when
Yeah.
I started like including that
I wonder what
mysterious
Zach and
clock
Cole are gonna
upstairs.
Yeah, that I badly modelled.
really do like
Josh managed to find 3 women this time, not just one. He managed to find.
I was pushing my luck, but it somehow worked.
a month now?
Sorry, one at the time. Sorry. Right, he found
Zach
3 this time.
and-
Yeah.
oh, you mean Zach and Alfie, right?
I think that.
Okay, I would say looking back on like Sherlock's
Oh,
performance,
really?
having seen all the episodes, I'm like, oh, this is kind of disturbing. Oh dear. Oh no.
Am I missing? Am I missing some lore here?
I think you are, Henry.
I'm aware of what the law is. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm aware.
I'll take your word for it. God, how
Danny lore.
creepy.
But even this shot here, look how long this lasts.
She's just not very literate. She's reading the police box thing.
Yeah. Maybe.
Like dyslexia, maybe? Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're adding character to the characters.
We're
years
adding
ago.
more character than Josh put into his fucking story.
He's busy.
No, to be
We're
fair,
just doing
this
a
was the
revision.
first time I genuinely tried writing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I kind of tried with Scorpius, but this was the first time I was ever trying to all these characters and one of the whole themes of the story. I was trying to sort of
But it's
do
all fine.
young
It's
people,
all going
you know.
to
Well, yeah.
Okay.
What I will give you credit for is the writing behind Brian, especially part 4. Solid.
Well, I did a lot of rewriting with part 4 and 3 actually, because I wrote the whole story in I think summer of 2017, and then parts 3 and 4 I rewrote a lot of them before I shot
Yeah.
them. Particularly part 4. I think most of part 4 was rewritten when I was a bit older.
Yeah.
So,
I remember when this story was slowly releasing, and I remember you saying there was going to be a really big twist to the story and stuff.
Why
And
did I say that?
and I was trying to theorize what on earth's going on. Is there something really odd about this house? And I was like, okay, is there any objects in the house that doesn't
Oh,
look
so you
like
weren't
it fits in
actually
the time
guessing
period?
that the killer. You were going,
No.
oh, the house is
Oh,
alive.
that's interesting to hear, because I do remember that. I remembered saying to Danny and possibly some other people, there is a twist. I don't know if I said when it was. I said there's a twist at one point in this story that flips the whole story a bit. I think I was exaggerating at the time. I was like, flips
I
the
remember
whole
when
story on
I
its
remember
head.
when these were coming out, and you were telling me about it. I told you not to tell me who the killer was, but I think I guessed every single person except the one it was.
Yeah,
Remember
there's some interesting things I'll point out when we get to them. Little small
Yeah.
clues. Some of them are quite obvious. When you know the twist, they're quite obvious sort of clues. But there's a few as well which perhaps less obvious.
Yeah, it was the thing with the killers. It was like you look who it could possibly be. It's like, no, this one can't be too obvious, and it's like, it can't be them, it can't be, and that's what everyone thought. And it's like, oh no.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
it was done so well. I give you credit for that. It was done really well.
I quite like that POV shot, to be fair.
Oh, thank you guys. I suddenly praise out of nowhere.
What I would like to say is, you know how Fred is walking through the woods, right? From
Yeah.
the thing. In actuality, literally around that corner is the gas station.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my.
The set, in terms of the set, yeah, the gas station is just out of view, pretty much.
Pretty much just out of view. So I just always found it kind of amusing that
Yeah.
it's gonna take you till evening to get there or whatever. It's around the corner.
A little thing worth pointing out here is, I remember thinking at the time, people might be confused as to why Fred encounters the mysterious assailant in the woods. You know, but if you do see there that the door is open, and I'm trying to,
Oh,
what I was trying to draw
yeah.
attention to was, especially once you know the twist. Obviously, Brian was staying overnight in the house before everyone showed up. He was getting things set up, getting to know the place, whatever. And this was him trying to leave now that they've all shown up. The door was open, he'd slipped out the side, and he just happened to encounter Fred here. That's supposed to be the logic behind it. But I do wonder if some people
That's fair.
were confused.
No, that's it's not that I was confused. It just sort of never bothered. I never really cared about knowing that.
I'm always
It-
overthinking.
What are you doing?
I feel like with Minecraft.2, this was maybe the first or one of the very few first instances where we had a human villain. And because I remember, yeah, could
You
have been.
could be right, actually, Danny.
Did
Yeah.
Harry do a
Yeah.
human villain at one point?
I can't remember, but I remember when it was all unfolding and stuff, and I was like, Steven's terrifying. Steven is really terrifying as his character, and I
He
think,
did do good, Stephen.
and I think if anyone wants to have a really truly terrifying villain in any fan film kind of project, they should try and go for something that's a bit more down to earth. Sometimes, not all the time,
Yeah.
obviously. Sometimes, because when it hits closer to home, it's like, oh, this could actually happen. This is. Oh no, this is. Nah. It
Yeah, I know
it
what
goes.
you mean, yeah.
It's scary. It gets into uncomfortable territory. Because I remember like the whole like cliffhanger to part 3. It was generally terrifying.
Oh wow.
Generally.
That's high praise.
Yeah. I was literally in like a hotel
This is
room
where
as
this is
well.
where we
Oh.
rewatched part 3, Danny, and you're like, oh, it's not that good actually. High praise.
What's it called?
retracted.
It's not a Mandela effect. It's something else. When maybe it is Mandela effect, where you just remember something much better than it was. Rose tinted glasses. That's what I'm dreading a bit here.
Yeah.
Although I do
I
have
get-
loads of problems with this story that I will be naturally criticising. Most of them are around sort of part 3 time.
Yeah. I think no matter what you're gonna do on any project, you're always gonna have like a problem with it at some point or other. Like, oh, I wish I did it differently. I wish I did it like that. I wish I hadn't like just brushed this aside and pretend it wasn't that much of a problem.
Yeah, always.
Because
That scene there was very much inspired by a scene in the first, and there's a lot of moments like this in this story, which I like to think I didn't copy and paste anything specifically from Friday the 13th, but if you do watch those films, you will see, and you've seen this story as well, you will see all the little bits that I kind of
inspired by.
Almost extrapolated a little bit. I took little elements from them and I tried to then do them slightly differently or add a little bit. Like that whole chase through the woods is kind of from the first Friday the 13th, but I did try to just, I think, extend it a little bit, add a little bit more to it. In some places, you could argue I just copied it, for sure. You could argue some bits are copied.
I've only watched Friday the 13th once, so
you've seen it once. I haven't seen it ever.
You need to watch more films, Danny. That's a classic.
I've been watching more films this year. To be fair, I've been like adding a lot to my letterbox.
You're on Letterboxd. I've got you on Letterboxd. I've got you on Letterboxd. I just don't see you post. Have you got a new account?
I don't do reviews or anything. I just like stars, just stars.
Yeah, I've seen all your like 2-star ratings on the Harry Potter films. I've seen all those.
Based.
The Harry Potter's not even that bad. I mean, some of them are, but
I just never
like
connected
Order of the
it.
Phoenix, I thought was pretty boring. For a Harry Potter
I
film,
liked
I
Order of the Phoenix.
boring.
Half-Blood Prince was the one as a kid I never liked. As an adult, I can appreciate it a bit more.
I appreciate all of them as an adult.
Look, I love how the blood
I
is still on the floor though. Like, why didn't he clean it up at all? He put the bodies in the cellar.
He had all night.
Yeah, literally.
That was purely just I want there to be some blood on the floor so it looked creepy, and none of the kids are
Don't worry,
realising.
guys. It's just grape juice.
What I will say, just going back to what I was talking about earlier about how like you know, you look back and stuff like, oh, I wish I did this differently, kind of thing. Like everything you're gonna work on, even professionally in the entertainment industry, or like, you know, you write a novel, whatever. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. All you can do is just make it as good as you possibly can.
Pretty much, yeah. And the
it's
more
so
you
important to say.
the more you learn as well, the more you look back and you go, but then that's part of it, isn't it? Just looking back and realizing. Because Hider in the House was the first time I sort of, like I said, tried almost doing it a bit more seriously, a bit more. It's evident in the story itself, but even in the practice, in like the craft or whatever, I'm trying a bit harder here than I was before. I'm still having fun. I was still having fun like I was before, but I was just trying a bit more.
Yeah.
To make something good.
Yeah, how about we surprise them?
Considering Henry, I'm pretty sure you're only voicing Zach because I couldn't find anyone else. You're always the go-to if I can't find any other voice actors. You do a pretty good job. You did a solid job.
I was actually trying to like channel stereotypical American jock.
Yeah, and that is kind of who the character is. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Zach, in real life. I don't know if you're like this.
No, he's nothing like that in real life.
I was trying to make you an arsehole.
He was. He's not even.
Not an irredeemable arsehole, but just an arsehole.
Yeah. But Danny, what are your memories of playing Robber 1? Or Robber 2 maybe, or Robber 3, I can't remember.
Did Danny even help film this?
I think it
Oh,
was
it's my crappy grandfather clock model.
I have a feeling it might be the first time we'd spoken in a while, because we keep going on like these breaks where we're just like, okay, we don't talk for a while, and then we talk for quite a lot, and then we don't talk for a while, and we talk for quite a lot.
If anything, that's actually quite wholesome, the fact that you can just pick up where you left off.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
We remember each other. We remember the old times. Whoville and stuff.
I remember getting your house blown up on Hoover.
I keep telling that to so
Iconic
many
memory.
people. I tell it to so many people because I'm still so
Iconic.
salty about it.
We planted drugs in your basement, and what we will say is,
what's
Josh
it
and I
called
had
these
no
days?
intention to blow your house up. That was
Yeah.
Matt.
What is it
We
called?
were going to get you arrested.
Yeah.
not have your house eviscerated.
No, it's like with streamers when they SWAT team them. No, they SWAT a streamer. That's kind of what we did to Danny.
Yes.
We planted
It
drugs in his basement, and the authorities.
Found it.
Well, he wasn't quite arrested.
They went overboard.
It went a bit dramatic.
Yeah. Just to let you guys know, this isn't real life. This was in Minecraft. Just for context.
Did we clarify?
No, I don't think we did.
Do we need to clarify that?
No, did we just start talking about drugs in Danny's basement? I can't even remember.
Look,
This is very relevant.
Look, I might already be on the FBI watch list, guys. I don't need another,
no.
no.
That car there was
Oh my
added on
God.
a blue screen. That's why it was so loud.
Yeah,
Because Flans.
I was gonna say that-
Same with the helicopter in Part 3. You can't do any like vehicles with the camera mod at the time.
No, it's awful.
So it had to all be recorded with like another account sort of thing, and then just done in front of a blue screen.
Yeah, I use a completely different car mod now, which I think this was all shot on 1.7.10, so this wouldn't have been like out then.
There you are,
But,
Brian.
yeah.
I was starting to
the one you want about like 1.12 now.
Yeah, 1.12. I can't remember what the car mod was called, but it's like you have to like kind of build it yourself, kind of thing, and then like it actually works with the camera mod somewhat. Or at least my one does.
Might have to hit me up with that, Danny.
Yeah.
We're not talking about drugs anymore.
Why not? I want to talk about drugs. Also, like, I know this is kind of a spoiler, but let's be honest, we've kind of talked a lot about, like, potential
Yeah,
things,
we-
all the things that are going to be happening in the story. So if you guys haven't watched the actual episodes before the commentary, that's
I
kind
think I did that warning on Hunted as well.
bruh. But I remember from straight on
Oh
from
my
part
God.
1, I knew what the grandfather clock was all about. I was just like, oh yes.
Is that because
Here
I
we
told
go.
you? Is that because I told
I
you?
think I would have guessed anyway.
Or did you just notice that the grandfather clock looks so out of
So
place?
how is everyone?
Not
Yeah.
necessarily the out of place aspect. It's more like what it reminds me of. Like,
Yeah, it is the exact. It is the
Yeah.
exact model from the Deadly Assassin.
yeah.
I believe you just sent me an image saying, "Can you make that?" And I was like, "Alright."
Make
Yeah.
it now. I
do that
demand
now
it.
and then. I send Henry an image of something, whether it's a building, a skin, or a model, and I'm like, "Can you make that?" And he's like, "Yeah." That's about as far as the communication goes.
Then again, on some of the latest sets, we were doing drawings and
Yeah,
everything. We were getting this one right.
We were actually doing like we did a full design meeting for a certain set in Hyde House. We were doing like floor plans and
You're not
drawing
hiding in
stuff
the
on
house.
for Order of the Zorfroi. And we were doing like floor plans on paper, and we were drawing shit on paper, like possible designs, and like sending them. It was so stupid looking back, especially considering what some of those look like.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like when... Sorry.
I was gonna say, is this a fucking song from Shrek? It is, isn't
oh
it?
my
It's
god.
Hallelujah, Hallelujah.
Yeah, it's a
The
Shrek.
Christian version. The Christian version. Wait, what am I on about? Because there's. Wait, I know.
Instrumental, do you mean?
No, there is another version of Hallelujah,
Yeah.
which they sing in Friday the 13th. That's a much more. Well, it's a different song, basically. It's a much more sexual version, I think,
Oh,
from
dear.
what I remember.
I'm looking at the top now, hiding house, and I was like, this could be so many people. It's indicating towards. Like, is it the alien? Is it the killer? Is it the master?
Well, everyone-
Which
Yeah,
one?
that, it is ultimately the Doctor,
Yeah.
the title.
Oh,
Which
okay.
I very on the nose point out in part 4. But
Yeah.
there you go.
Now that we've finished
And
Hollow
point out right at the beginning of the
down,
episode when you
let's all
like
just
linger on
take a
him for a
breath.
minute.
I have rented this place for us
True,
as a
True.
reward for
But
doing
here's
what we
here's
want.
I might as well point out one of the
Of
clues
course,
to
we are
the
all going to
identity
separate
of the
universities,
killer, who I was
going
sort of
to
trying to
different universities,
create the red herring that
and
he's just some insane man.
let's have
You
a
know,
good
that's what
time
the
these next
shop
few
clerk
days.
was talking about at the start.
Let's,
He's just some random
kick off
guy.
summer on a
But
good
if you
note.
do look at Brian's skin, oh my god, I forgot you did that, Henry.
Anyways,
If you look at Brian's skin, he's got the exact same like trousers and shoes as the killer. I didn't change the skin at all. He's just wearing a jumper over the shirt. That's literally as simple as it is. But I kind of had faith that no one would.
Yeah, no one did.
And I'm glad I was right. 'Cause it would have been very awkward if I uploaded part 1 and everyone's just like, Josh, it's
It's Brian.
you fumbled, mate.
That's the thing. To have like a truly great twist, you need some of it to be like in plain sight,
Yeah,
but also
in
not
plain-
have
yeah.
people guess it.
It's like what was the famous one? The Spider-Man one where you see Jake Gyllenhaal like at the beginning of the film, and then
Sure you don't want to say
you notice it when you rewatch it.
Maybe tomorrow, babe.
He's
Okay,
consistently around Peter Parker in the beginning of the film, watching him.
Yeah.
My memory of Far From Home is quite vague, but I think I know what you're on about.
The only one I saw was No Way Home. I still need to watch the first two.
I'm not sure.
No, I wasn't getting onto the Spider-Man debate. I was just saying like the setup thing. It allows rewatchability.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying I haven't seen it.
Just us out here in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by the woods.
Right,
Like,
in
trying to
case you
ruin
guys
it.
hadn't realised it's a creepy story, I'm gonna have the characters talk about that it's a creepy environment.
I hope you're
Definitely
right.
not on the nose.
Let's be honest, like, what creepy horror movie hasn't had that? It's like, oh my god, this guy's giving me the chills.
Yeah, that's true.
You like it to be a true horror story. You have to throw
Yeah.
a jab at the surrounding. Like
Yeah.
it's a staple of horror culture.
I
I
feel
like
like
this
it's
shot here, although
Yeah.
it possibly gets a bit clunky at the end. But I like what I was trying to do.
I feel like it's almost like it feels like in terms of the entertainment industry, it's almost like okay, the writers don't have faith in the director's going to do a good job.
That was
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
I forgot about that. That's a good shot.
It sort of
damn.
leaves you wondering why it's still.
I
Why
mean,
the,
they're
why the
both
shot's
a bit.
still
They're
going.
both.
Yeah,
They're both a bit
robotic.
static.
Yeah.
They've just stood there.
Well, they were. They're
still.
both NPCs.
I know,
No K9.
but like,
We can't go in yet. Not until he gives
You
us
sound
a
different in
signal.
this. In part 1, in particular, I think only part 1. You do sound different. It'd been a while since you did your Scottish voice.
it'd been like 2 years.
Yeah,
K9 ever getting a voice actor?
He is getting a voice actor.
Woo!
Who is what?
K9 for Order of the North Rye.
I think I remember saying an
Ah.
audition for K9 at one point, long time ago.
Well, if the other guy doesn't work out, Danny, then you're still
On
on
the road.
on the list.
I could be the robot dog. Damn.
You could be.
Well, Josh, to give you credit, I think you're like pretty much the first to have K9 consistent
Yeah.
in their thing.
I
even though he
struggle.
has,
I
like,
nearly
limited-
excluded him from this story altogether. I nearly excluded K9 because I thought he's gonna tonally go against it, surely.
Yeah.
And then I thought, no, that's a good thing. That's a good thing that he's like a contrast to the rest of it, and also a bit uplifting whenever you see him. You're like, oh, K9's here.
the robot dog.
But
Happy.
I just want to mention here, you hear the from Friday the 13th. I was originally, my plan was to not include that at all because I thought I don't want to literally rip off the iconic little bit of music from it. You know what I mean? I'm going to use loads of the score.
the riff.
I'm going to use loads of the score, but yeah, it's the riff. I didn't want to use that. In the end, I thought, shit, I'm running out of music after one episode. I'm going to have to just bite the bullet. And I still kind of cringe a little bit whenever I hear it, but it is creepy. It does work.
To be fair, I never thought you were.
Come in.
Well, obviously I know it's from Friday. I never thought you were ripping it off though.
I wish I turned off the light in this scene. I wish I had them in sort of shadow, because the lightning keeps kind of flashing up the room.
Yeah.
If the light was off, that would have looked really cool.
Yeah.
I'll
True.
go downstairs.
It might have looked like you were trying a bit too hard to be creepy, though.
Maybe.
I will.
But we'll never know.
Naturally, he would have the light on, so I know what you mean.
I know you keep saying like you
He's
made
reading
me
a
feel
book.
like.
Of course, he'd have the light on. Sorry, Danny.
Yeah, that's my point exactly. Like, he's like, you don't read in the dark unless you have a lamp on. Like,
See you in the morning.
if he was on a phone or something, yeah, I'd kind of get it. Like the light, it lights itself. But a book.
Yeah. But what I was going to say is that I know you like criticized yourself a little bit that feels too close at times for Friday the 13th, but I feel like how the second half of the story goes, it kind of like works because it's like okay, we've seen this before, and it's like oh, okay, this is not like anything we've seen before. Okay, this is going in a very interesting and completely different direction to what we might.
Yeah,
be
I see what you're
thinking.
saying. What I should have done in hindsight is I should have set this in the 80s, because then I could have had more fun 80s stuff. But I also
Yeah.
could have had it so that Brian had seen Friday the 13th. Do you know what I mean?
Ooh,
I could have
yeah.
done that. That's what I'd do now. I'd have it because I wanted to set it in the past, so I could have that slightly. Because old stuff just feels creepy. I don't know how to explain it. And also,
Yeah,
there's no
I
mobile
bet.
phones, so that's that helps.
Yeah,
Even
that-
though they're in the middle
I don't
of
know.
the woods.
I don't know. I'm kind of sick of the 80s. Like so many things. Like 80s is so
Stranger
cool.
Things. And...
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
just like,
yeah, that's true.
kind of sick of it.
I guess then it like in the 70s is a bit more original than the 80s, but I do get what you mean, yeah. But I suppose there were a lot of other slasher movies in like the 70s because that's like where it kind of like, began, I believe.
Halloween.
Rose literally Harry Potter.
Look, this was look. He's the outcast. He has to, because Joel is meant to be like the one of the group who, well, he's meant to be the most mature one for a start.
Yeah.
But he's supposed to be the only one who doesn't mind not getting involved and doing all some of the more stupid stuff. Which is kind of why he's the only one who survives, because he's the only one who.
Who's down there?
Well, it's mainly because he meets the Doctor, actually.
I remember hoping that
I was
one
gonna say, he
other
meets the
character
one with the
survived.
biggest plot
Sorry.
armor.
Yeah. Sorry. I remember there was one other character I wish had survived, but that was just like, it's just a wish, and it's just like, you know what? It still hit
Who was
me.
that?
Oh, it's Charlotte's character. I was hoping,
Yeah.
like, hope this character survives. But it's like, oh no.
Wait, which one does she? There are three women, Danny. Come on.
I can't remember the name.
Amanda in the orange.
Amanda. Okay, I
The
do
orange.
apologize.
Okay.
Yeah, there was at one point. So I originally wrote that she died, and then I think when I was rewriting part 3, I was originally going to have her survive at one point and go into part 4 with all the others, and then I just thought it would be a bit too crowded. Even though
Yeah, I get that.
I wanted a bit more optimism,
Yeah.
I still just thought it will be too crowded. It won't be part 4 won't be as scary. So yeah. And this cliffhanger, when I first wrote it, the Doctor got up and he pulled out a knife.
Oh my god.
And the point is, he then, in part 2, he walks past Joel and he goes up to the door so that if they'd been followed downstairs, he would at least be able to defend them, kind of thing. That was going to be the whole, like, resolution to it in part 2. And then I just thought, I can't have that. That's just weird.
That's weird. And B, his whole thing is like, I can't interfere. And then,
Yeah,
like, what's he
yeah.
gonna do? Interfere.
I know, yeah, exactly. But I thought it'll make the audience think for a moment, just for one cliffhanger, that the Doctor is the killer, and that'll be interesting. And then I thought, I don't even
Matt.
want to end on that note. I don't want to set that up.
The clerk, Matt, he
Matt.
gets one to himself. And Danny didn't get one for being a robber.
But thank you, Danny. Henry will be back for part 4, but thank you, Danny, for doing this. It's been.
I mean, if you really
We've got to give a
want
round of
part one,
applause.
try
Round
and
of
do part
applause
four.
for Robber number 2. Robber number 2. That is so epic.
Thank you,
Obviously-
Danny.
Yeah, no worries. I had a lot of fun.
It was good.